we will go back to the table. Now, Giuseppe, thanks, comes from Italy and is going to speak us about the mutualistic fund they developed in Venezia for 30 minutes.
Okay, thank you everybody. I'm so glad to be here with you, and please be kind with me because usually I talk to Italian farmers and so I not use English so far. So, first of all, when Mark sent me the invitation and I see the questions now that if there is some insurance that take care of plant disease, I just take a step back and look at the scenarios that our farmers that are similar all over the world, but particularly here in Europe, that they are face off. In this moment, we have the climate change that, in particular in our area, there are doing very dramatic damages in our territory. We have some very important targets of our community objectives. As you see, now is loading, so we don't have exactly the target, the timing, but we know that we have to achieve that one. And we have so this important also chemical reduction that have positive, but we saw also this morning negative impacts, okay? And we cannot see the most important one, is the geopolitical issues that is we are facing all the days that for the farmers, in first of all, means lower profits. So I take care of the question of Mark and I put another question. Is this the time for start with something new? And for me, for our experience that today I show you, the answer is yes, because the farmer cannot have the answer for all these problems, so they are getting lost and scared. And if you don't go to cover this blackout that they have in this moment, someone else will take care. So this is why it's I'm very thankful to be here to share our experience, to help other places, other regions, other countries starts to take care of the farmers and the situation and start with new system that probably, like Alexis say, is not the solution, but is something that go through the direction that we want to achieve. So, you see in the map we are not a very big one, but when you come there, it's quite a big region. Agrifondo Mutualistico is my organization. We work in the Veneto and Friuli Venezia Giulia region. That, as I say, maybe is not so big, but it's very, very important, especially for wine sector. As you think about Prosecco, is the region that collects the Prosecco, Matonoli, Amarone, Valpolicella is one of the most famous red wine. And also we have all the Friuli Venezia Giulia wines, like Collio Friulano is very famous. Not only wines, our farmers are very, they train all the day with a lot of different stuff. So we have also food sector specialists, like for the cheese, we have Grana Padano and Asiago, or ham, where we have, sorry, I don't see, there is not subtitles, I hope you can understand also. And we have also, for example, prosciutto crudo is very famous, like San Daniele, other typical ones. So that's what say that our farmers, they are improved, they're doing their job, they especially in the market, so they're very well collocated. But as I said before, all the problems that comes from the weather changing and also the community objectives, they put more and more new level that we can achieve and go on. So, we are Agrifondo Mutualistico, my organization that is that put together the organization of Condifesa collaboration. So Condifesa are mainly organization of farmers to take policy insurance. In Italy, we from 1970 we have subsidies for mainly for weather climate damage, weather damage. And from 1970s, they decide to put together by region and to have better benefits with the companies, insurance companies, and whatever. And the nice thing is that this Condifesa, they just stops on the weather, climate, and damage, so the policy to take care of the policies, but they want to improve, and so they start to work together. In 2010, they create Agrifondo Mutualistico. From there, we do a long road. As you see, we take care now of over 1 billion crop value, so a lot of money, and more than 5,000 hectares of vineyards, and also more than 1,000 hectares of cereals crops. So we have big shoulders, we can say in Italy. So we take care of a lot of products. Since 2018, we start with the European subsidies for mutual funds. So this is also because I'm here today, so to talk this, especially for a wine grape fund that is also very compatible with this region. And another very, very important thing is the numbers of our farmers. In Italy, the farms are very small, so we have a very huge number of farmers. In our case, it's more than 10,000 farmers. So when I talk to you, I talk for 10,000 farmers that you can imagine they are here today with me and talk with you. This is our road, what we done. We start, as I say, in 2010 with the collaboration between Condifesa. And you say in 2010 there was no subsidies from European Union, so we start to asking and listen first the task. Listening farmers' needs, and in that years the main problems were wild animals, and also structure, probably mainly for strong wind damage that put down all the vineyards, but also a lot of fruits structure. And also receding crops. As you say, especially in these years, unfortunately for my fund, we have a lot of problem of flooding that damage. And there is, I don't know, maybe in other countries there are, but we don't have a very special insurance cover for this type of first planting parts, so the first days of the seeding season. And so we have this, we create in 2010 this special coverage that is not quite expensive to a farmers, just to cover the production cost, so it's very cheap ones, but at the same time it's very helpful to construct the behavior behind mutual funds. And starting in 2010, we can arrives to 2019 and start with this very beautiful but also difficult project. There are the subsidies that we take care from FESAR funds, so from European Community, and we start in 2018. We are first in Italy, but also not other funds were start also in Europe. So we are mainly first in Europe that start with this reality, and we start to improving it. And the new challenge is also maybe in the future take care for the weather damage, not only the plant disease, because in Italy, especially during the last 5 years, the damage the damage that the insurance policy take care for weather conditions are very high. And so they are reducing their portfolio, so they're reducing the capacity that they can have. So we start to have for some product the reduction of guarantees, reduction of the compensation and whatever. So we try to see if we can create a synergy between us and the companies to get to continue to take care of our farmers. In our idea, there is not only one instrument, correct, but it's what we want to do is try to give a synergy between all the instruments, all the tools. We have, first of all, that everybody told this morning, is the knowledge. So the agronomical knowledge is the basis, because if you do a farming, you have to do your job, but it's not even easy. You have the passive defense, so mainly insurance positive, insurance policies, and you have mutual funds that is a particular type of concept that is not easy also to explain to the farmer, but is based on mutual funds. So very easy now imagine, because I usually speak to the farmers, so you have to imagine the difference between mutual fund, so share the risk, so the people, the farmers, they challenge together the same risk, so they're working together, or insurance policy, where the risks are passed on, is CIDIS, so is give to the company, and if there is the damage will pay you from the company, and that's all. So it's not at the end you have also the compensation, but it's not the same one. In the mutual fund there is more creation of a group so there is more feeling, more feedback. There is also there's born something between the other farmers. They're looking at each other, they're doing well their job and the other things. So it's something different than the normal insurance policies. There is not only benefits, there is also some bad things that have mutual funds. The big one, the big benefits are guarantees risk that we take care that is not insured in the market, so others or nobody else. We create a piggy bank, so the money that we collected in the good years are using for the bad years. So this is a very important thing, that you not lost your money when you pay the mutual funds, but your money are take care for the bad years. And also a very important thing is you are monitoring your territory. We take a look during this presentation. When we start, we have mainly problem for particular type of disease, and now there are rising new diseases that even know by the farmers that we are introducing, we are facing during these days. So monitoring and territorying is a very important thing that can improve by mutual funds. The bad things on mutual funds, as you know, as I said before, you create this piggy bank, but when the piggy is empty, there is no money for everybody, so you have to share also the good things, but also the bad things. Okay. As I say, or as also Alex says, there is some regulation that we take care. This come from UE regulation, but also in Italy we want to put more, so we have also national limit and regulation that are very difficult to achieve. And also there is some delay, and the delay also it creates some problems with our farmers, because when you have the damage, you have to restart the years later. You need the money to do your business. So the timing also of the payments are very necessary to achieve the objectives. Other few knowledge, as you see, the subsidies that we received is very high, is 70% of the total premium. So this is very important. This is why it's very important to start with this type of mutual fund, this type of instrument, because are very well subsidies from the UE. As I said before, there is a regulation. This is why we have a transparent piggy, because you can see the money inside. So we have you have to be very clear with the farmer, very transparent. Okay. At the same time, you have UE regulation. There is quite tough. After you have national regulation, that is also very difficult to achieve. And in the end, you have also at the fund regulation that the farmers in this case have to take care. And for the farmers, the main rules are following the good, I know before, in Italy we say buon padre di famiglia. I know in Francais it's more the same, it's the good practice, okay, that you have to do. And the other things is the threshold, okay, that you have to go on. There is a 20% threshold for a common product. There is a UE regulation that means that there is a minimum level of damage. Under that, it's a normal damage that a farmer can afford. I hope it's writing well. So the good years helps the bad years. You see our farmers members especially that take care during the years. There is our farmers really trust in our solution. Obviously there is some fluctuation from the pricing, but it's mainly for the market. And what is very important is take a look at the farmers members. I told you we are more than 10,000 and we are still improving it. As I say before, we start in 2010 without subsidies, just on the understanding of what the farmers needs. And in that time, the most important problem was the wild animals receding and the wind, strong wind problems on the structure. And during the years, you say we don't collect a lot of money, we just share all the money that we take with the farmers. But the important things was that during the good years, we can pay back the money during the bad years. So we create this piggy bank that is very helpful and start to create the behavior to our farmers for the mutual fund. What's happened with the UE contribution? You can see the blue line was before, and take a look of how much it was increased with the UE contribution. So we take care, we can afford a more compensation during the years, but at the same time, take a look also of the red one is fund compensation, so how much we pay back our farmers during the years. What you can see is the situation is challenging us. With more money, we can pay more money, but at the same time, the disease, the weather, all the problems they come from. Also, the farmers understand that they have the damage that before they didn't care. You create knowledge. So when you create it, and fidelity, they start to ask, and we start to do more check in our territory, and this is what happening. And it's a good thing because if you are monitoring, you know what is happening in your territory. Without, you don't know. At the same time, as I showed you, the capital stock, so the piggy bank is very helpful because in the first 90s and 20s, we collect some money and we use, for example, in 2004, there is very raining season, also here in France, and we have a lot of problem with the disease. And you take a see, we have to also use some money that we put back in the good years. So this is the fund that mainly we talk today for my presentation is one grape mutual funds. Just few things. We take care of all these disease in once. So you cannot choose which one. You just have to take all the box. So the main problems that we have in our territory, and take a look at the cost. The cost is very, very low. Only 0.10% of the total value. I give you an example. On 10,000 euros, I give you a real example. 1 hectare of Prosecco, okay, the value is 20,000 euros. Okay, so for each hectare, our farmers pay 20 euros. I give you another example. How much costs their normal insurance for weather, for especially hail and mainly hail and other multi-risk? It's cost 10%. So 2,000 euros. 2,000 euros and 20 euros for our mutual fund. So you have to imagine the price is very low, and why the price is very low. With price very low, we cannot pay everybody every year, but we can arrive to everybody. And in the first part that we are growing is the behavior of mutual fund. We don't want to pay all the damage. We want to create a behavior, a community, a system that can arrive to everybody. When we have everybody, we can improve our cost, we can pay better, we can resolve some problem that we have with the regulation of European, regulation with Italy. So we have a 5-year experience, but we understand that with low money, we can start the system. If you ask too much money, the farmer, they are not so much improved to that. With low money, you can start these meanings. What compensate? In the end, we pay something between 20 and 50% of the crop value, okay? This is the most part. So on 20,000 euros, okay, we pay something between 5,000 and 600. 600 and 5,000. So maximum 500, 5,000 euros, minimum 600. This is the range. The minimum is fixed by UE, and the maximum we stopped from our regulation of the fund. The questions that of this meeting are, can insurance help farmers? The problems are two mainly that we face off. The first one is the cost of the risk, so have the data. And the second one is a question of some girls before that ask the good practicals, so the moral hazard, how we can take care of these things. So we're facing the first one. So the problem is the pricing model. So the pricing model for insurance companies are mainly two factors, frequency and intensity. You have this, you need these data for a long time to collect it, minimum 5 years, but 10 is better. And it's not easy to find it because we have limited data for plant disease problem, less than 5 years. Because why 5 years? Because usually Europe pay for a period of the, how do you say, they pay some the study, the research, and the minimum time, the normal time is 5 years. So we have just the research for that period and not more or less, because it's the time of 5 years. So this is a problem also for the area, climate. As we say, we have a lot of different type of varieties, so also varietal sensitivity and phenological phases. Because if it's raining now, it's not a problem for the crops because we already harvest, but it's raining in May or in June, it's very damaging for the mid-down and whatever. So, and also, as we facing, there is different different farmers have different defense strategies, conventional or biological. So you have to take care of all these problems. We start to have an idea of our pricing with the university and other research center that we thanks for that one. And we start with that price that is still the same at the moment, so very low price, but we stop the compensation just to have an idea how it works. At the moment we add of we can say the study data, we can say that we can improve with our the on-site, in-field data that we collected. So what's happening that during the years we are improving our data with real data from our real farmer, and we're improving it, and we have tailored the cost of the risk. The second question, and the other very difficult ones, is how can we reduce the moral hazard? We have a similar of Alexis system, but this is the second step. So we have two-step systems. The first one, we go on the field and we check. What we check? We check the good good agricultural practice, and we check the damage. So we know exactly the damage that is caused from that disease. Okay. And the second step, because also us we understand that how can tailor it, how you can trust just one single farmer. So we also introduce a second level that is collecting data and monitoring. So we have our inspectors that go monitoring the area where we have the disease to find more or less the average. And the second one that is very important, have a good collaboration with the public administration. In this case, we have an annual annual resume of all the harvest yields for variety, for common, for municipalities, for that. And so in that case, we have a very big important data that we can compare with our data and understand if all these yields are lost for something, yes or not, and obviously we can improve with our data. And in this case, we can arrive to win-win method, we say. I say win-win method, maybe you can be better, to avoid, maybe reduce the compensation for human error, that is that one that we don't want to do. Correct reading for real damage in field inspector is the other important things that Christian before said this morning. So to go to the bad farmers, this system helps us to go to the bad farmers with our inspector and correct them. So not to correct everybody, not to give the knowledge to everybody, but that one that have the damage, not for not the damage caused for the disease, but from a human error. You can correct that one directly. And it's the farmers that call you to say, I have a problem, and if he has a problem, you can correct it. Otherwise, no, he has a problem, you can pay. But if otherwise he's not gonna be paid, you just give you the information. This is the other very important thing. So the transfer of the information to the farmers, not all the farmers, that farmers that do the bad things. And that is our key to afford this issue. This is how our fund is going. So you see, we have good years and we have also bad years. It's not always good years. 2024, as I say, we have a lot of raining, so we have a lot of disease. In this case, our fund cannot pay all the damage to our farmers, so we just compensate up the maximum that we can achieve. This is how the problems changing during the years. We have mainly three main problems. We have flavescenza dorée, flavescenza dorata in italiano, mal dell'esca, esca grape disease, and downy mildew, in Italian we say peronospora, that are the main problem. As you say, every year there is one is stronger than the other one. For example, 2022 was very drought years, and that has a very bad impact for flavescenza dorée, because the drought improve very much the problem with the flavescenza dorée. Other things like the rainy season, the downy mildew is very high because the farmers, not just the rain, but the day of rain cannot go to the vineyards to take care of with the treatments. Also, you see in our compensation how they are moving. When I say that we go along all these two regions, we go really along all this region. We do mainly more than 2,500 checks on the fields per year, so we do a lot of inspection. Our farmer compensation are mainly 300, 400 per year, and we have these monitoring points that help us to reduce the human error and so create a monitoring system to reduce the moral hazard. I'm conclusion this. I'm very far close. I'm very near to conclude. Sorry. One of the last concepts that I want to give you is not just risk management, but also risk assessment. You have to explain to the farmer what are the new diseases that will come, because they don't have an idea. They think the only problem is the historical ones, because they remember that. The father, the grandfather, I don't know, all the time they remember the past and then have less attention to the future, to what will happen in next year. They are not everybody is so clever, so smart to check the new problem they will facing. You can see in the photo, this photo is a farmer that have perfect treatment on the leaf and lost all the grapes. It's something strange. So this was for because it's not the treatment were done, they have some problem with the machinery. But the meaning, the very important thing is if you don't go to these farmers to correct this farmer every day will go to put some chemical products because they are lost in the product, and the problem is the farmer, not the product, nor the harvest. So going to the bad farmers is the best thing that can happen, unfortunately, but you have to do that. Nothing will be possible without Condifesa, and now I give you some very quick tips what we are doing. So the first one is building the mentality, okay? So start from the past with the low price and construct your farmer mentality. The second one, you need data. So with Condifesa, we take care of radar meteo, and we build, I don't know, like 200 weather stations. And we sell the data to the insurance company, because they need data for the storm, the flooding, the rain. So we take care of the weather net. Phenometeo is a new project that we are introducing with the Condifesa, because with the index policies that are very interesting, you have a lot of data on the weather, but phenological. Because try to think about spring frost. If you start monitoring and if you start give the coverage in March, I think every night you go under zero. So when exactly there will be the start of phenological moments? This is a very attractive thing. We have some data from the past. In some way, we try to collect it. So now we are developing with the AI and everything a system that can help a better tailored system for index. Because the problem in the index is the true false or something like that. And DS system is the supply system for the decision. And we already produce one. It's called Body, and it's using mainly for crops, and help the farmers with the telephone to understand more or less when they lost the cover from the treatments. And so if it's not rainy, you can wait maybe 2 days, 3 days more. And also this is very helpful. Not everybody can do that. Only the smart part of the farmers, younger ones, a new generation. And also the last thing is share our instructor knowledge, so during our inspection to the farmer. We do a lot of other things. I don't want to say other things. This is our team that we go to the field and share our knowledge. And so thank you, and here for all your questions. Sorry for my English. I hope it works.